Kane-san explained that everyone had been making Kyowu-kun bentos for a week, and this was her turn to provide his lunch, urging him to enjoy the karage. Kyowu-kun thanked her, marveling at the homemade bento from a girl, but he felt nervous eating it, noting it only had karage. Another student apologized, explaining that was his bento, pointing out Kyowu-kun's had vegetables, and Tsukumari suggested an arm wrestling match, while Kyowu-kun explained that even the boys treated him like one of them. Kane-san confessed she wanted Kyowu-kun to think of her as a girl, reminding him that vegetables were good for his health, showing him the lettuce and furicake she included. Kyowu-kun stared at a photo, noticing similarities to Maidobe-san, wondering if this meant she was the boy he used to play with. He considered that there was no way, and even his fear of girls was activated around Maidobe-san, questioning if she was really a girl. Kyowu-kun questioned Hino-san about the obvious, asking if his fever had fried his brain, since he was in the same class as Maidobe-san, adding that she was one of the people trying to make him fall for them, declaring he would hang up before his ice cream melted, concluding that he was now certain that Maidobe-san was a girl. Grandma pondered whether he had simply been under the wrong impression about them being a boy in the past, or if they just looked alike and Maidobe-san and the boy from the photo were different people, confirming that the boy in the photo was indeed the boy she had been talking about. Kyowu-kun asked if she still thought they were the same person as the one they passed by before, then asked if looking at the photo again, she thought they were not the same person, as Grandma agreed they were identical, explaining that the boy from the photo didn't have the surname Maidobe, confirming he had said he was a boy, and that they played together often but went to different schools, admitting she couldn't exactly be sure. Kyowu-kun admitted he got the feeling there was something different between the boy from the photo and Maidobe-san, wondering if there was some way to be completely sure, observing that it was an old photo, revealing that the summer festival was happening this week, reminiscing that it was from when he went to the summer festival in his hometown, questioning if he was going. Hino-san thanked him for having come over to look after her, saying she was feeling much better, then asked if he was free on the 27th of July, wondering if he would go to the summer festival with her, reminding him that they agreed to limit dates to one per person during summer vacations, hoping it was okay with him, directly asking if he would like to go to the summer festival with her. Kyowu-kun considered that at the summer festival to which he had been before with the boy from the photo, he might be able to learn something, as Ishii called out to him from over there. Ishii noticed Kyowu-kun was making a strange face, questioning if he needed to use the restroom, then realized he was staring at her earring, remarking that it was different than the one she usually wore. Kyowu-kun thought she was slow on the uptake, but was surprised Ishii noticed such things, admitting to himself that he couldn't tell her he was constantly watching Maidobe-san, thinking that she seemed different from the boy from the photo, then suggested they visit some stalls, thanking her for noticing. They walked through the festival, passing stalls selling special yakisoba, as Kyowu-kun remarked that he was getting a sense of déjà vu from the arcade. Kyowu-kun wondered if he had been to one before as a kid, then asked Ishii if she liked festivals, observing that Maidobe-san didn't really go to places with lots of people, passing stalls selling shaved ice and candy apples, suggesting they get one because it was hot, then noticed a stall selling masks, wondering if they had any that suited her well, deciding that this was the one and only option. Ishii thought it felt like she was there with a completely different person, as Kyowu-kun thought the mask suited her well, deciding there was another reason he thought they were different people, taking their behaviors and tastes into account, deciding that the boy from the photo and Maidobe-san didn't match up, noting that Maidobe-san hadn't said anything about having met him before when they were kids, then realized his candy apple was sour. Considering that she confessed to him during the entrance ceremony, Kaiwu-kun thought that if Midobe-san and the boy from the photo were the same person, it would be unthinkable that she didn't remember him, which in turn would mean that she was his real one. But the boy from the photo didn't have a forked tongue, deducing that she wasn't a love-eater who was after humans, then noticed a target shooting stall, declaring that he was quite confident in his aiming skills, urging Ishii to come over. Kane-sen called out to Kaiwu-kun, drawing his attention. The love-eater thought to herself that summer was in full swing, remarking on how hot it was today, realizing that the way Kane-san had called out to Kaiwu-kun was the same way the boy from the photo had called him, using Kaiwu-chan. Midobe-san seemed to be deep in thought, considering that if what she was thinking was true, it was very likely that she and the boy from the photo were different people, which would explain why she hadn't brought it up herself. Kane-san wondered if they had met before when they were both kids. The story continues. The story continues. A boy playing video games looked up, questioning why anyone would spend summer vacation indoors playing games all the time. The chapter opened, titled Summer Reminiscence. Magu retorted that there was nothing else to do and wondered why he didn't play outside. It was way too hot. She inquired if he was doing his summer homework, reminding him to do it bit by bit each day and to write in his summer one-line-per-day diary, even if it was just one line a day. Magu thought to herself that even though she only needed a single line, she had absolutely nothing to write about. A girl excitedly told him she bought her swimsuit for the pool party tomorrow. No, not the pool party, but next week's visit to the amusement park. So the boy playing video games decided he would play some more games. Magu, having already played a ton of games, declared that she was tired. Magu wondered if there was anything fun to do nearby, lamenting that her inventory was full of scorpions. Then her mom called to ask what she had been doing all this time, commenting with surprise that it was impressive. Magu's mom told her to go and play outside, but Magu thought it was too hot. She noted what a mess it was, but it was obvious things would end up this way after holing up in the house for a whole week. Magu missed the AC already and said that her mom told her to play, but it wasn't like she had anything to do or anywhere to go. She saw some kids from her grade school and longed for her smartphone. Magu wondered if it would be fun if she had some friends, then decided that having them would be a pain in its own way. Magu declared that she was fine with being by herself, as she didn't want to run into her classmates like she did just now, but it couldn't be helped. Now that it had come to this, she guessed she would waste some time in a park at a slight distance from here. Magu thought that being able to act freely like this was part of the good things of being alone. She admitted that making friends was impossible for her, and the more she tried to do it, the more she was made painfully aware of her own patheticness. There was once a time where she did think about trying her best to make some, but she only thought about it and never had the courage to put it into action, and so eventually gave up on it. Magu realized the emotional toll from wishing for it and not being able to get it was great, and so this was fine. If that's how it was going to end up, she wouldn't wish for it from the start. That way it'll end without her getting injured. Magu didn't want to endure that sorrow, resolving that she'll just be alone now and forever. A boy in the park called out to Magu. The boy in park asked Magu if she wanted to play with him. Magu remained silent. The image showed a collection of memories from Magu's summer vacation with Kaiwu-chan. They played soccer, went to the library, ate ice cream, and visited a confectionery shop. Magu reflected that she had made a friend. 1 week ago, that boy called out to her at the park. He told her she could call him Kaiwu-chan, explaining that his name was Ui's Hai Kaiwu, and that's what everyone in his family called him, so she should too. Magu recalled that Kaiwu-chan had seen her all alone at that time. Kaiwu-chan had only just moved into his new house in this area, and so didn't seem to have any friends yet, and decided to invite her to play together with him. Ever since that day, They had been playing together just about every day. Magu thought that there were two big misunderstandings regarding Kaiwu-chan. Magu remembered how, while they were playing video games, Kaiwu-chan had asked her what her name was, and she had told him Magu. Kaiwu-chan had responded with an "I see," and when he had called her Nagumo, she hadn't corrected him. She thought to herself that she couldn't bring herself to correct him, and that was how she had become Nagumo to him, and he had introduced himself to her as Kaiwu. Magu recalled Kaiwu-chan saying that he couldn't get a good look at her face because of her hat, and then he had asked if Nagumo was a girl, because he was bad at interacting with girls. Magu remembered that she had almost corrected him, but then she had simply answered, "Yeah," and despite those two big misunderstandings, she and Kaiwu-chan had become friends. Magu thought to herself that faking her own identity was like she was a spy, and that was so cool. But if their current relationship was to get weird from telling him the truth, then leaving things as they were was fine, though she did feel slightly bad about lying to him like this, and that the two of them were friends. Magu wondered why she felt drawn toward Kaiwu-chan, and then Kaiwu-chan called her name, asking her if she was free tomorrow, and Magu responded that she was free all the time, still getting used to being called Nagumo. Kaiwu-chan asked if she wanted to go to the summer festival with him, the one they were holding close to there, explaining he was going with Grandma, but he wasn't good with crowds and wondered if she might want to come too. Magu exclaimed that it was decided then, and that she was looking forward to it now, wondering why Kaiwu-chan seemed so excited. The story continues. The story continues. Kaiwu-chan asked if she didn't think so, insisting that it was awesome and so cool. Magu thanked Kaiwu-chan, admitting that if she hadn't met him, she would have never known real-life fireworks were so pretty and impressive, nor that playing video games with someone else could be so fun, nor that playing outside was enjoyable, thanking him for letting her get to know him and for calling out to her that day. Magu thanked Kaiwu-chan for becoming her friend. Kaiwu-chan echoed the sentiment, expressing his gratitude and suggesting they watch the fireworks together next year as well, asking if that was all right with her and promising they would do it together. Magu happily agreed, confirming it was a promise. Magu reflected on her summer vacation, writing in her journal that she went to see the fireworks with Kaiwu-chan, promising to see them again next year, resolving to play with Kaiwu-chan today and tomorrow too, emphasizing that Kaiwu-chan was her only friend. Midobe-san admitted to herself that something felt strange about the situation. She wondered why Kaiwu-chan seemed to think that way, questioning his reasoning. A boy playing video games seemed perplexed by something on the screen. The story continued, presenting the third volume, Chapter 22, You're Moving. Grandma insisted Kaiwu-chan would be lonely without Magu, apologizing that Kaiwu-chan was out and offering Casella cake, but Magu declined, and Grandma wondered if she had gotten the photos from the festival printed, as she admitted to herself that she had lied again and that they weren't moving. Grandma explained she couldn't be with Magu anymore, recalling that Magu's mother, her grandmother, had the same thing happen at Magu's age, her tongue forked, and warning Magu carefully that her mother was very clear that if that happened, Magu was a love-eater, confessing she had to tell her this. Magu thought to herself that love-eaters eat love emotions, and that she couldn't stand imagining continuing to lie while wanting to eat her friend's feelings, bidding Kaiwu-chan goodbye. Kane-san insisted she was fine and leaving now, telling Kaiwu-kun to take care and asking if he wasn't feeling well, and if he was forgetting anything. Magu realized that starting today, she was a high schooler, lamenting the pain of no longer having to consciously hold back her appetite all the time. However, now that she was among high schoolers, there were almost none of those first love holders that she couldn't help but want to eat, which made things a bit easier. But all that's left was avoiding getting involved with people as much as possible, since if they somehow ended up falling for her, their love emotions, with her as their target, would make her want to eat them. But it's not like she had to worry that much about it, as she didn't have that much human interaction even before becoming a love eater. After all, Kane-san spotted a person who was a first love holder, one who didn't hold it back, and he looked delicious, as she wondered just what kind of person he was, muttering to herself. Kane-san recognized Kaiwu-chan, exclaiming, "Huh, it's really Kaiwu-chan," confirming that there was no mistaking that weird, kinky hair, and that it was Kaiwu-chan, observing that he continued to be bad with girls, and wondering if he hadn't fallen in love yet. Kaiwu-kun's admirer thought to herself that she had found him, and that they had met again, but decided she shouldn't call out to him, as she would only end up wanting to eat him if she got close to him, not to mention she was sure he wouldn't remember someone like her, wondering who the pretty girl was who seemed to be Kaiwu-chan's acquaintance, resolving to keep watching him a bit longer. Magu wondered if the girl was leaving a love letter, confessing on the very first day during the entrance ceremony, and in Kaiwu-chan's shoe locker, no less, wondering if maybe they actually knew each other, questioning what was going on. Magu was shocked to see that there were 3 more girls leaving love letters, realizing that she knew it, thinking that it was Kaiwu-chan's desk. Kane-san was stunned by Kaiwu-chan's popularity, wondering if those girls were love eaters, musing that if that was the case, they might be confessing to him right after the entrance ceremony in order to prevent other love eaters from eating him. Maidobe-san realized that Kaiwu-chan's love emotions would get eaten, and he would lose them forever, deciding it was her turn to pay him back, thinking that she had received so much from Kaiwu-chan, doubting that it was even remotely possible for her to accomplish it, reasoning that since even if she came clean about being Nagumo, Ishii's business of slipping letters after gym class would have the opposite effect, thinking Kaiwu-chan wouldn't see her as a girl. Kane-san vowed she would make Kaiwu-chan fall for her, hoping that it would end with Kaiwu-chan not having his love emotions eaten by any of the other girls, believing that if she could do that, they could become lovers, wondering what would happen if. Kane-san considered that if among any of them, they would fulfill a single request for each other, thinking a love eater wouldn't make that kind of proposal, realizing that there was one among the girls who truly liked Kaiwu-chan, realizing that Ishii really truly liked Kaiwu-kun, deducing that Ishii wasn't lying, affirming that she knew it, as Kaiwu-kun was super popular, admitting that she liked him. Kaiwu-kun wondered if he and Ishii had met before when they were both kids. Ishii replied probably, understanding that he believed that from among them, there was also one who truly liked him, realizing that Kaiwu-chan was continuing to interact with all of them who confessed to him, because he knew that there were love eaters among them, and also some real, one who confessed to him honestly, musing that if she said, "Yes, we have," that would increase the credibility of that idea for him and would lead him to think that she was his real one among them. Recognizing that if among them there was one who truly liked Kaiwu-chan, it would be her. Kane-san denied that she and Kaiwu-kun had met before, vowing to support their love from afar. Maidobe-san considered that if Kaiwu-kun happened to fall in love with a normal person, those love emotions of his would stop being a first love, or a love them lose directed at us, deliciousness, realizing that when that happened, she, a love eater, would no longer feel like wanting to eat those love emotions of his, hoping to stay next to him like she did back then, affirming that this was fine, as his friend always. This way, she thought, this time around, she would be able to remain Kaiwu-kun's friend forever. Kaiwu-kun wondered if he hadn't met Maidobe-san when they were kids, considering the possibility that they might have crossed each other for just an instant, musing that maybe that didn't count as having met, asking if maybe even a single word counted, if they had even exchanged something like a single word during elementary school, realizing that it didn't happen, thinking something along the lines of a high school debut, then thinking that having a boyfriend would make the greatest impact. Wondering why she confessed to him on the day of the entrance ceremony, admitting that he hadn't thought much into it. Kaiwoo-kun questioned what the meaning of this was, admitting that he had even thought that she'd say, assuming that Maidobe-san was neither Nagumo nor his real one and was just a single love-eater, that she had met him in the past as a pretense for her confession. And even in case she said she hadn't, in order to show that she liked him, he was certain she'd say something like she fell in love at first sight with him during the entrance ceremony, admitting that was why. Maidobe-san's reply from just now felt like it's neither from his real one nor a love-eater, wondering if it isn't a bit too late to be worrying about stuff like that, reminding him that he already retired from the competition for Ishii after all, admitting that he knew. Ishii wondered if she was the one who cheered Ishii's love on, joking if she was his friend man or friend woman, then suggesting they go eat some butter potatoes, admitting that the joke fell flat, then wondering if Maidobe-san really didn't have enough confidence in herself, recalling that she thought this during their first date. But if she were a love-eater, she wouldn't say stuff like retiring or confessing to him to try and change herself. Kaiwoo-kun realized there was still the possibility that Maidobe-san was the person targeting the love-eaters, but regardless of who she was, what he had learned was that Maidobe-san and Nagumo were different people, like he thought. Ishii thought that they probably should start moving since the fireworks were about to start, but suddenly a wave of people came out of nowhere, admitting that she was too scared to touch a girl like Maidobe-san, realizing that it wasn't the time for that, and that it hurt. Kaiwoo-kun asked if Ishii was okay, warning that his hand might be sweaty, so if she didn't want that, she could grab onto his arm or sleeve, declaring that it was dangerous, so let's hold hands for now. Ishii assured him that she was good and that his hands were fine, then asking Ishii if she had decided on who of the other four she was going to go out with. Kaiwoo-kun asked what she meant, explaining that's how it was at that time, and there were also many reasons for it, reminding her that she chose Kane-san as the person she liked most during the trip, admitting that he hadn't decided, wondering if there's even a real one, suggesting that if he were Ishii, he'd choose Kane-san, adding that it was fine not to think too hard about it, declaring that he'd marry her immediately because she was a beauty, looked mature, and was kind. Kaiwoo-kun insisted that even if Ishii started going out with Kane-san, everything would be fine as long as the others became her friends, suggesting that she let him know if she ever did start going out with her, so that they could stay together with them. A girl considered that she didn't think she could become friends with the others, believing their relationship would come to an end then and there, worrying that if there was a real one, then the others would be love-eaters. Suddenly, Kaiwoo-kun noticed Maidobe-san, realizing that they got separated in the crowd, declaring that he had to look for her. Ishii reflected on how it was weird for them to be holding hands when they were just friends, revealing that she ended up letting go of his hand, thinking that she'd be able to watch them together with Kaiwoo-kun again, admitting they sure were pretty, but even if she did, she'd just feel empty from those fireworks. Because once Kaiwoo-kun found someone he liked, her current relationship with him as friends would come to an end, and if it didn't work out, she guessed saying, "Let's be friends," was way too convenient of a thing, guessing that was only natural, confessing that if she went and honestly revealed to him that she was a love-eater, and that she was Nagumo, with whom he played in the past, Kaiwoo-kun would leave her. The girl realized there wasn't a way for her to remain next to Kaiwoo-kun, realizing the fireworks ended, admitting that coming to this place despite having run away herself, she thought that Kaiwoo-kun might find her again. The girl resolved not to wish for anything anymore. Ishii questioned how Kaiwoo-kun knew, demanding to know why he was always there, always watching her. Kane-sen declared that she found Maidobe-san. Ishii murmured Nagumo's name. Kyawu-kun wondered if Mitobe-san and the boy from the photo could actually be the same person, questioning why she was hiding, and if the Mitobe-san they had met before wanted him to notice on his own.